This is gonna be my guide on how to play PS4 controller on PlayStation and Tekken. I was gonna make originally a video of this, but I cannot get my cam to work in video, so I will be doing a live stream instead. So let's get right into this. So I'll be going to talk about a few things. So I'm gonna be talking on how to backdash. I'm gonna be talking on how to wave dash, and I'm gonna be talking about how to do electric on pad. Those are the main three things I'm gonna be talking about, because this is mainly a pad video for Mishima players, because I'm main Mishimas, so those are my main characters I use in this game, and this is gonna be a little help for those who play PS4 pad and are struggling to get their movements up and stuff. I'll be going over simple practice methods and stuff and how you can input all of these things. I'm gonna be showing you my methods of how I play Mishimas on pad, and some effective practice methods I used to really get better in a short amount of time. So let's get right into it. I'll be starting with backdashing. So backdashing on a PS4 pad is not really that hard. So what you can do, I play player 1 foremost. I don't play player 2 as often, because I don't think it's very beneficial as a Mishima player to play player 2, to be honest, because your left side is in the foreground, which sucks. You don't want to be stepping into the foreground in this game, because I think you're putting yourself in a disadvantage. So that's why I play player 1, and I'm mostly accustomed to that. So backdashing. Why do you want to learn backdashing in Tekken? So in Tekken, it's all about movement and 50-50s and pretty much stuff like that. You want to learn movement as soon as you start playing Tekken, because Tekken is mostly a three-dimensional game. So in three-dimensional games, you should learn movement ASAP, because this is very important in the long run of you playing that game. And if you really wanna invest your time into this game, or in any other 3D fighting game in general, you're gonna have to learn movement at some point. So let's get right into it. So how do I backdash on pad? So there are two ways to input backdash on pad. You have back, quarter circle back, back. This is the traditional way of inputting backdash for any normal character. So this is just a normal way of inputting backdash. It just works for most characters. So how you would do this is you press down and you slide. Instead of pressing everything manually, you just want to do back and slide into back and go back to neutral and do the whole process again. So what you do is back, down, back, 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 down, back, back. So that's pretty much how you input this on pad. So what you want to do is you want to place your fingers in between this crevice right here, because you want to minimize your inputs for backdash. How much input you're doing will determine how fast your backdash will be. So minimalizing your input will result in a faster backdash like this. So you can have a slow backdash, which pretty much anyone has as when they start learning, or you can have a very fast backdash, which looks very clean in general, and it's just very good in general for letting your opponent make mistakes and just avoiding stuff they do. So what are the pros and cons of this? You can backdash pretty fast. However, at high level Tekken play, people will start catching notes of this, and they will often dash in your face, realigning their selves with your backdash. So this will create some things for you. So first, why you want to learn backdash is with punishment. With punishment is a very important aspect of Tekken, because this game obviously runs on 60 FPS and moves have different types of frame data on block, whiff, and on hit. So this is why the main reason you're learning backdash, to avoid moves and to create opportunities for yourself to win the match, pretty much. So that's a little bit of my take on backdash and why I think backdash is important. So for foremost is movement. Second of all is punishment, and the third is just being mobile in general is never bad in any fighting game. So that's part one. So part two is wave dash. Wave dash with Mishimas on player on pad in general is really easy because you have two ways of inputting wave dash on the pad, rather than like on stick where you only have like one method of inputting wave dash. We have two on PS4 pad. Why is this? Because we have the D-pad plus we have the stick. For some reason in Tekken you can have cross inputs. So what does this mean is you can have two different devices inputting at the same time. So whatever you're doing inputs on one thing, you can actually use the second option to do inputs as well. This is for sure very beneficial because this creates you better movement and better side steps. This is very practical because on stick you're stuck on only your stick itself. So what happens is everything you're inputting is pretty much one way, as whether to having two ways to input. It's much better because you can input much faster. So you can hold back while doing other stuff. So like for example ducking. So you can just micro duck like this. This is why having two input devices right next to each other is very good in general for fighting games. This is also a thing for Mixbox. Mixbox has the same perk, wherein you can do dual inputs. Pad has this as well. So that's a very good thing about Pad. So my first method for wave dashing is just any traditional wave dash input. How we would do this is just do forward, down, down, forward, forward. And you repeat the whole thing again. But with wave dash on pad, what you can do is you input forward, down, down, forward, and input forward with your stick again. So what this would look like when you do this very fast is like this. Of course, you have to practice this. It takes a while, but this is pretty much the fastest way to input wave dash on a PS4 pad. As you can see, this is really fast. You can pretty much microwave dash with this method, and you want to learn this for player one ASAP. This is one of the best ways to input wave dash on a PS4 pad. This is not as practical on player 2 side. Why not? Because instead of having to switch it to the left, you're inputting it to the right side, which is a little bit impractical. So what I would prefer doing is on player 2 you input the wave dash traditionally on your pad alone, because you don't have to use your two hands for this. Because foremost, the distance again, you have to do more. You have to travel more distance for this. So, and also, it will make your thumb more sore that way. It's also, you have to practice this. It's beneficial if you can do it on player 2, but I prefer doing the normal traditional way of wave dashing, which is in my opinion is better on player 2 side, whereas doing the dual input on player 1 side is better. So that's how I wave dash on a pad. So let's get into the last section, is electric. So a little bit to come back on wave dash and why you want to learn wave dash is first and foremost electrics. So the main launching tool for Mishimas is the electric. Obviously, this is one of their best moves in their entire arsenal, arguably the best move in the game, and this move is beyond broken. So why do you want to learn wave dash and electric is because you can minimize the distance between you and electric which is a 14 frame launcher. Having a 14 frame launcher in a game where most launchers are 15 frames or above is insanely strong. Really insanely strong. And having a wave dash on top of that to make that movement even faster benefits the electric way more, because this creates opportunities for you to dash in and punish them for whatever mistake they're making. That's why you want to learn these things combined with each other. So how you have a few methods of inputting electric, which we all know. So we have the traditional forward, down, down, forward, 2, which is pretty much the generic way of inputting electric. This is the normal way of inputting electric, how most people would do it. It's very beneficial to play pad with Mishima players, and why? You can skip the neutral very easily on pad because there's no big space in between your arrows right here. So what you would do is you press forward and you don't let go. So you do down, down, forwards, and you press electric. So that's pretty much how you would do it. And if you do this, if you combine this very fast, you get a 13 frame electric most of the time. So as you saw, those were like three 13 frame electrics in a row. So you want to practice this at all times. Practicing this way of inputting electric on pad is the most beneficial, and why? You have the perk of not having to do neutral. The main reason why Mishimas on pad are very good, and in my opinion a little bit better on stick, is because you can skip the neutral very, very, very consistently. And I get this, that people always say to me, while you're using macros or anything. No macros or anything. I just showcase this on pad. I told them before that I do hand cam streams, and that you can do this method of electric every time. It's so easy on pad. I cannot stress this enough how easy this is on pad. Of course, Tekken in general takes years of practice, and just learning electric on its own takes weeks or at least months of practice before you get to the stage of even attempting to do perfect electrics. How I practiced electrics is, what I would do is I would set the opponent to block. So of course I want him standing up, not laying down. Let's make him stand up. So you set your AI to block, and you just do endless forward dash electrics. This is a very consistent way of learning electric, because you can just do this on block every time. And this is also important to practice this every time, because this is your main launching tool as a Mishima. Of course, you have Jin and Heihachi having other tools to launch your opponent, like hop kick or 4-4-2 for Heihachi, for example, which are like pretty good launchers, but they are not as good as electric. Electric tracks right side and often tracks left side too, because of how movement is nerfed in Tekken 7. In Tekken Tag 2, this was more apparent that Wave Dash had that electric had a weak side, a really weak side, pretty much, because the movement was way stronger in older games. So electric would whiff more often than it would in this game. In this game, you're not gonna step electric that easily like you would in Tekken Tag 2, Tekken 6, Tekken Revolution, or any Tekken for that matter that has Kazuya or any Mishima in it that knows electric. So, pros and cons about it too is why you want to learn doing perfect electrics is minimalizing input mistakes. So, one of the biggest problems you are gonna face with playing Mishimas is having input errors. This sucks apparently online, because why? You're gonna get punished or whiff punished for this shit every time, and this could determine winning a match or losing a match. I had this happen many times. In many occasions I even lost a tournament because of this, where the situation was I was baiting the pole player and doing down for twos. Because you know, down for two has a pretty good range, but it's pretty slow to recover. So what I wanted to do was wave dash in and do electric. But instead I got down two, which lost me the round because he launched me after that with punishing my down two, and it destroyed the entire round, and I got 5th place like that. So ever since I started to learn electric, even more than I did before. So these are my main ways to learn electric. So first practice thing you should do is the AI, let them block and just do electrics over and over again. As soon as you get this down, you want to start learning how to punish with electric. So what you would do is you do any -14 move. For example, what's a -14 move with Heihachi? I can't come up with the one right now, but let's pick someone else, for example. Let's pick Kazuya, for example, and let's punish his down forward, his wall standing 2. Well, standing 2 is -18 frames, so it should be easy. So this is another way to practice electric. This is your next step. And once you acquired how to do electric pretty consistently, this is what you should do next. So you just set the AI to do any move that you know is -14 or higher. So I'm just gonna do wall standing 2. Which is like -18. It's pretty punishable. Most people don't often punish this online. But this is what you want to do. So you want to pretty much learn how to consistently punish with electric. And as you learn how to punish, you should learn how to punish moves that are less punishable. Like, for example, I'm doing a -18 punish right now. You want to decrease the amount of frames you have to punish. Because what this will result doing is, it's going to tighten your punishment for electric. So, with each and most practice you're going to have, you're going to decrease the amount of time you have to punish something, which is really good. So this helps with input speed, really good. I cannot stress this enough how good this is to practice punishing -14 moves, or just setting up with punishes in general. Let's do 1-1-2. 1-1-2 is an easy one, it's -15, so. Once you have these moves down, you want to move on to harder moves, like for example Brian's down forward to 3, which is -13. This is very, 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 very hard to punish, by the way. This is not easy, but this is the way to only practice it. You don't have any other way besides doing down forward 2 perfect electrics, but even that is not real. Why not? Because how punishes work in this game, when your opponent does a move to you, you are in recovery frames for a few seconds. What this creates various timings on how to punish certain moves. Like I'm just gonna do down for 2, 3 with Brian and hold back. This is a very visual move, so you can confirm and do electric pretty easily after. But this is why is this the hardest stage in punishing, because you only have 13 frames. This is very, very hard. As you can see, I'm not even doing it every time. That was a 13 frame electric and I just missed the punish by 1 frame. But as you can see, this is not easy. But this is what you want to do as a Mishima player. You want to move on from -18 or -15 or above moves to eventually -13. This is only for Kazuya, by the way, as other Mishima characters have only a 14 frame electric. This is only a thing with Kazuya. Kazuya is the only Mishima that can punish 13 frame moves with an electric. So if you want to be able to do that, I suggest you pick Kazuya, because Kazuya is honestly, in my opinion, one of the strongest Mishimas, because he has the 13 frame electric. Having a 13 frame launcher in Tekken is insanely broken. Even though it's very consistent to do online, it's still hell broken. Why is it broken? Because people are gonna run into it. It being 13 frames on itself is very, very, very fast. Most launchers in the game are 15 frames or higher, but having a 13 frame launcher is very, very broken. Even Yoshimitsu with his flash being 8 or 6 frames has nothing compared to electric. And why not? The hitbox of flash is very trash. The hitbox of electric is insanely big. So what often happens, as you can see, even at these ranges, if people run into you and they're at this range, they're gonna eat an electric 100% of the time if they input something. As you can see, EVGF goes forward, so this creates opportunities for you to use EVGF as keep out. This is one of your main game plans you want to have as a Kazuya player. Is you want to use electric as a tool to make your opponent make mistakes. What's kind of sad about it is they nerfed electric a little bit, so it's now worse on whiff. It's pretty much the same thing with Steve's back one. Steve's back one also received the same nerf, but it still recovers pretty fast. And honestly, in all honesty, they should nerf it even more. Same with electric, they should nerf the recovery. It's the same thing, because now I just can, with this point blank in my opponent's face, and he's not going to be able to punish me 90% of the time for it. Well, I'm not risking anything. I'm just doing a +5 move in his face, and if he gets hit, he's get launched for half his life, guaranteed. What are the cons about? What are like most of the bad sides of electric is this is your main tool of launching. So if they start playing around your electric, it's pretty much game over for most Mishima players. Because why? If people start to catch on how to evade your electric, because everyone puts different timings on electric, no player plays the same. If they're starting to catch on how to evade your electric, it's gonna get pretty hard for you. That's why you want to learn the 13 frame version instead, because this is gonna make it harder again for them to punish it, because the 14 frame electric is easier to punish than the 13 frame, because even 1 frame of difference is very big in Tekken. And also why his 13 frame electrics is good. He's the only character that can launch hop kicks, by the way. There's no other character in the game besides Akuma, Geese, I think, pre-patch Geese was able to do this, and Eliza. Those are like the only characters that can punish hop kicks with launchers in this game. Any other character can do this, they mostly get a 30 frame punish like 2-2 or back 1 for example. Those are like generic punishes you get for any character. But Kazuya can do electric. Again, this is very hard to do and it's highly impractical, but you want to learn this. You want to learn how to do this, because if you ever punish a hop kick with a successful electric, they're guaranteed getting lost for half their life. And this is very good for you, because this pretty much puts you instantly in an advantage. And they're gonna be thinking about doing hop kicks the next time, when you're rave dashing in their face and they just randomly hop kick your ass for it. What else can I talk about pretty much here? Oh yeah, another thing about backdash and another method of inputting backdash is some characters have a backsway, like for example Paul. Let's take Paul as an example, and we have Brian right there, so it pretty much matches up. So some characters have backsways, and Paul and Brian are those characters. So the traditional way of inputting backdash is bad. Why? because this creates backsways like this. So often when you're backdashing, you're gonna get backsways, and this is really not beneficial because whenever you're in a backsway state, you can get launched for it. This is very bad, and this is also the problem with the forward dashes. You can get launched for it because there's no blocking in between the stands. You can't block. You're guaranteed to get launched for it. So what you would do is you input down, you input back, down, back, but don't skip the neutral. You can't skip the neutral. So what you don't do is you don't use neutral when you're backdashing like this. So you do back, down, back, back. That's pretty much how you do it with backsway characters. So if you do this successfully, it should look something like this. See, this is pretty much, I minimalized my backsways by doing this. But as you can see on the screen, in some of my backdashers, I'm not skipping the neutral between my last down and back. That's because if you do that, you're gonna get down back. And down back is something you not want on backsway characters. You always want back and down and back next to each other. So you want to skip the neutral between this. So how you would do this is whenever you do back, you let go and instantly press back. But what's the pro about having a PS4 controller? You can just do this. As you can see, you can tilt the pad a little bit. So what happens is you're not letting go of your last input, and it gets registered into your next. So it would look like this. So as you can see, I didn't skip my neutral. So if there's a space in between your back and your down, that means you're doing it right. Well, your first back and down should be having a neutral, but your second back should not have a neutral between the down. Because if you do that, it's gonna create a sidestep, and you can get launched from sidesteps pretty much, which is not what you want. Of course, you want to have a clean, crisp backdash like this, and try to minimize your mistakes on pad. So that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much my guide on a little bit on how to wave dash, backdash, and do electrics on pad, and how to practice this stuff. I hope you enjoyed. I was gonna originally make this into a video, but I'm not able to use my camera on apart in a video because I'm streaming mainly from PS4. I don't have a streaming tool or a laptop or anything to do this, so this is just solely done off my PS4. So I hope you guys having a great evening. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial, pretty much of how to play on pad on Tekken. So I hope you guys have all a great day, and have a good evening, and sub and like if you enjoyed it, and if it helps you out, let me know anything in the comments, whether you want to know regardless about this video or any other things you want to know. Just let me know. There's comments below. Go ahead, post shit in it. I'll always respond anytime. So see you guys later.